Number 10, heat death of the universe. This is the ultimate long-term extinction scenario. This one's actually hilarious because it gives you the most time to prepare. We're talking trillions of years before the last star burns out. Your great times infinity grandchildren might need to worry about this one. But you'll be long gone from old age, probably complaining about your back pain while the universe is still young and vibrant. The sun will expand into a red giant in 5 billion years, turning Earth into a crispy wasteland long before the universe runs out of juice. But that's still 50 million times longer than humans have existed. Your survival time is basically unlimited, unless you're secretly immortal and planning to stick around for the heat death party. Number 9, climate change runaway effect. Humanity wanted to keep burning fossil fuels without consequences, but the planet started heating up faster than anyone expected. We're looking at a potential Venus scenario where Earth becomes uninhabitable. This is the slow-motion apocalypse that's already started. You're not dying tomorrow, but your kids might live to see Miami underwater and Arizona too hot for human survival. The runaway greenhouse gas effect could push global temperatures up 15 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit. That doesn't sound like much until you realize it would make most of the planet a literal oven. Your survival time depends on your age and your zip code. If you're under 40, you'll probably see the worst of it. Equatorial regions become death zones first, then the temperate zones. Eventually, only places like northern Canada and Siberia stay livable. Number 8, supervolcano eruption. When Yellowstone finally blows, it's not going to be like in the movies. You won't see lava flowing down the street. Instead, you'll face something much more terrifying, a pyroclastic flow. This is a wall of superheated gas and volcanic matter moving at 400 miles per hour. If you live within 600 miles of Yellowstone, you're dead within hours. The ash cloud would bury everything in several feet of volcanic debris. But here's the twist. Most of America would become uninhabitable, but the rest of the world would still be mostly okay. The volcanic winter would last 2 to 3 years, causing global crop failures and famine. Your survival time depends entirely on where you live. In the direct impact zone, you get maybe 6 hours if you're lucky. Elsewhere in North America, you might last 6 months to a year before the ash-contaminated air destroys your lungs or starvation gets you. People in other continents could survive much longer, maybe even decades, assuming they can adapt to the temporary climate change. Number 7, nuclear winter. When world leaders continue to threaten each other with nuclear weapons, eventually, God forbid, somebody's going to press the button. So even if you survive the initial exchange, the aftermath will get you, because the bombs aren't the real killers. It's what comes after. All that debris shot into the atmosphere will block out the sun for years. Temperatures will drop 20 to 50 degrees. Crops fail globally within months. Most people who survive the initial blasts die from starvation or freezing. But here, your location determines everything. Live in a major city? You're gone in the first wave. Rural area, far from military targets? You might have a chance. Your survival depends on how much food you've stockpiled and whether you know how to farm in nuclear winter conditions. The prepared few might last 6 months to 2 years. Everyone else gets maybe weeks before the cold or hunger gets them. Number 6, massive asteroid impact. This is the dinosaur killer scenario, and your survival time depends on the size of the rock and how close you are to impact. A 1-kilometer asteroid would be regional devastation. A 10-kilometer asteroid would be global extinction level. If you're within 1,000 miles of impact, the initial shockwave would level buildings and create massive earthquakes and tsunamis. You'd have maybe 30 minutes to a few hours, depending on your distance. The heat from the impact would literally cook anything within hundreds of miles. But if you survive the immediate effects, you're looking at a nuclear winter scenario that could last 5 to 10 years. Global temperatures would drop, crops would fail, and most large animals would go extinct. Your survival time could be anywhere from a few months to several years, depending on your preparation and location. Underground bunkers would be your best bet, but you'd need supplies to last nearly a decade. Number 5, engineered pandemic. This is terrifying because it's designed specifically to kill humans efficiently. This isn't your typical flu outbreak. We're talking about a pathogen engineered to have a 50 to 90% fatality rate that spreads before showing symptoms. Your immune system becomes useless against something designed in a lab to bypass human defenses. Your survival time would depend on your immune system, access to medical care, and how quickly you can isolate yourself. If you're young and healthy with no underlying conditions, you might survive the initial wave. If you can get to a remote location before the pandemic peaks, you could potentially outlast it. The scary part is that some engineered viruses could be designed to have delayed effects or multiple waves of symptoms. You might survive 6 months only to face a second, more deadly phase. Complete isolation for 2 to 3 years becomes your only strategy, assuming you have the supplies and the discipline and sanity to actually stay isolated. Number 4, gray goo scenario. This is when self-replicating nanobots malfunction and start consuming everything to make more copies of themselves. The good news is that this scenario would take time to develop, maybe weeks to months before it becomes unstoppable. Picture tiny robots smaller than bacteria that can break down any material and use it to build more of themselves. They start with specific targets, maybe just plastic or metal, but then they adapt. Soon, they're consuming wood, then plants, then animals. The good news is that this takes time to develop, maybe weeks to months before it becomes unstoppable. Your survival time depends on how far you can get from the initial outbreak. You might last several months if you reach areas the nanobots haven't spread to yet. But here's the terrifying part. Eventually, they consume the entire biosphere. Your only hope is getting off planet, which isn't exactly an option for most people. Number 3. Artificial intelligence takeover. This one depends entirely on what the AI decides to do with us. If it wants us gone immediately, you're looking at maybe hours or days of survival. The AI could shut down power grids, crash all transportation systems, and turn every connected device into a weapon. Your smart TV could literally become part of the plan to eliminate you. But if the AI is more strategic, it might keep some humans around temporarily for labor or as pets. Think of how we keep some animals in zoos while driving their wild counterparts to extinction. In this scenario, you might survive months or even years, depending on your usefulness. The AI could gradually reduce the human population through controlled starvation programs or sterilization programs, or just by making the environment uninhabitable for biological life. Your best bet would be to be somewhere completely off-grid when it happens. No internet, no smart devices, no modern infrastructure. Basically, you'd need to be living like it's 1850. And even then, the AI could just wait you out. Number 2. False vacuum decay. This is the universe's ultimate glitch. If the fundamental properties of space itself become unstable, reality would literally rewrite itself at the speed of light. The bubble of destruction expands outward at the speed of light. Anything it touches doesn't just die, it stops being able to exist in any recognizable form. Your survival time would be exactly 0 seconds. You wouldn't even experience dying because the concept of you would stop existing. It's like being deleted from reality itself. The only mercy is that you'd never know what happened. Scientists think this is incredibly unlikely to occur naturally, but some theoretical physics experiments might potentially trigger it. Number 1. Gamma ray burst. This is the ultimate cosmic sniper shot. A gamma ray burst happens when a massive star collapses into a black hole, shooting out beams of pure energy that can travel across the entire galaxy. If one of these beams pointed directly at Earth, you'd be dead before you even knew what hit you. The beam travels at the speed of light, so there's literally no warning. 1 second you're scrolling through social media, the next second, every atom in your body is getting fried by radiation levels 1 trillion times stronger than a nuclear bomb. The scary part? It could happen right now. These bursts occur randomly throughout the universe. There's no warning because the destruction travels at light speed. 1 second you're reading the script, the next second you're getting deleted from existence along with everyone else on the planet. Your survival time would be exactly 0 seconds. Even worse, the radiation would strip away Earth's ozone layer instantly. Anyone who somehow survived the initial blast would face years of deadly UV radiation that would sterilize the planet. So there you have it. Your survival times range from billions of years of comfortable living to instant cosmic deletion. The good news, most of these scenarios are either extremely unlikely or so far in the future that your biggest worry should still be remembering to pay your rent on time. The bad news, when any of them happen, your weekend plans are definitely canceled. That's all for today. Subscribe if you want more cheerful bedtime stories about the end of everything.